Hopi say that, if we make snow, we're basically telling God, we got this. We don't need you to make snow. We don't need you to make water because we know how to do it, right? And Snowbowl's been operating, making artificial snow and spraying it up on the mountain for a number of years now. And we've seen that everything that Hopi have warned us about, right? Told us, like, if we tell God we can do this, God's gonna be like, all right, let me sit back and see what you can do. I won't give you this, right? And we saw, that water table drop. We saw a decrease in the amount of rainfall that we got in the region. The same thing with snowfall. It was, with the exception of this year, we were looking it was pretty scary. It was pretty dry out here, and that danger of wildfires and forest fires was heightened. And that water scarcity is scary. It's frightening, because for me, knowing what I know within, talking with city and listening to city officials, listening to the city water management talk about the scarcity. Less than 10 years ago, they were telling us, with this current trend of rainfall, snowfall, if that doesn't change, Flagstaff could be out of water, right, to match its growth in 15, maybe 18 years. We're getting really close to that. Even though we got a large amount of snowfall this winter, it still isn't enough. It barely put a dent in it. We need more of that snowfall. We need more of that rainfall. I'm thinking about my children. I'm thinking about their future children. Where are they going to get water? City of Flagstaff had a plan. They were like, we're going to pipe water out of Navajo Aquifer almost 30, 40 miles east of Flagstaff, and it's going to cost millions of dollars to bring that water up this way. The areas that they're looking at, near Loop, near Winslow, we know as Navajo people, those areas are impacted by uranium tailings, high levels of arsenic in the water, and that's because the Navajo Aquifer has been depleted because of coal mining. And so the concentration of uranium and arsenic in the groundwater itself is higher because they're pulling all that water out. And Flagstaff wants to spend millions of dollars to pull that water over here without even understanding what's in that water right now. That scarcity of water is just going to get harder and harder. And I think this isn't new. I'm reminded repeatedly that, even Mark Twain said that water is going to be treated like gold here in the Southwest. It's going to be more valuable than money. And we're seeing all of that. And we know, science knows, right? As indigenous people, we know water has memory. If we mistreat it, right, it will mistreat us. It's a reciprocal relationship. And so back to Snowbowl, right? Back to what they're doing, how it impacts all of us. They say that money talks. Yeah, but we've seen nature talk back. We know that when they're spraying that reclaimed water up on the mountain, that it's supposed to be held on that allotted land that they have. We know from the work that we're doing in the community, the work that NAU is doing, going up and testing the tributaries that are coming off of the mountain, that some of those tailings are making their way down. They shouldn't. But again, we remind ourselves, that's a porous mountain. It's volcanic rock. So that tailings is going, whatever they're spraying on the mountain, it's going down into the groundwater system, and it's going to affect everybody, like I said, east of Flagstaff, west of Flagstaff, and all of the communities that benefit from that groundwater. And yes, we always hear, well, there's only a minute amount of whatever that reclaimed water is going to have. Even though it's A1 effluent, there's still certain things in it that you can't pull out, certain hormones you can't pull out of that water. Even though they're saying that it's only a minute amount, over time it becomes more concentrated, becomes more abundant. And if you're drinking that every day, imagine what will happen to you. Imagine what's happening already to the animals that only take that little bit, the plant life that's being endangered right now up there. So we have to be responsible. If we're thinking people and we have that science that backs it up, why aren't we listening to it? Why is money more important than the survival of our species, of our environment, of our children?